Hello everyone, welcome to Sri Lankan Life Sciences Academy, where biology, agriculture and food science meet. I am Irandika Tennakon. Today we are diving into something fundamental to all living things, chemistry for biologists. So let's get started. Biology is all about understanding living things. Here's the thing, all living things are made up of chemical substances. The way these chemicals bond and interact determines their properties and functions within cells and organisms. So, chemistry is the foundation of life. Now, let's break things down to the basics. Atoms. They are the smallest unit of matter that still have the properties of an element. Atoms are made of three main subatomic particles: protons, neutrons, and electrons. Protons are positively charged, found in the nucleus. Neutrons, no charge, also in the nucleus. Electrons, negatively charged, orbiting the nucleus in shells or energy levels. Understanding how these particles interact help us understand chemical bonding. Atoms are happiest when their outer electron shells are full, but most atoms aren't naturally stable. They achieve stability by gaining, losing, or sharing electrons. When atoms of different elements react, they form compounds. And here's the cool part, these compounds often have properties very different from the original elements. So, how do atoms combine to form compounds? Through chemical bonds. These bonds result from the interaction of electrons in the outer shells of atoms. They can transfer electrons, creating ionic bonds, or they can share electrons, creating covalent bonds. Ionic bond forms when electrons are transferred from one atom to another, creating charged particles called ions. Cations are positively charged ions, they are losing electrons. Anions, negatively charged ion, gaining electrons. The attraction between these oppositely charged ions results in an ionic bond. In sodium chloride, sodium loses an electron to become sodium ion and chlorine gains an electron to become chloride. The opposite charges attract, forming a strong ionic bond. Unlike ionic bonds, covalent bonds are formed when atoms share electrons. This sharing can happen between two or more atoms, forming a strong and stable bonds. These bonds are crucial in the structure of many biological molecules. Not all covalent bonds are equal. Sometimes electrons aren't shared evenly, resulting in polar molecules. These molecules have slightly positive and slightly negative parts. This is called a dipole and it's essential for interactions within cells. Nonpolar molecules, on the other hand, share electrons equally. Now, let's talk about inorganic ions. In water, ionic substances dissociate into ions. Since cells are mostly water, most of these substances exist as ions in living organisms. Some important anions to remember. Nitrate for DNA and protein synthesis in plants. Phosphate ions, ATP, DNA, RNA and bond formation. Chloride ions, osmotic balance and electrical neutrality. Bicarbonate ions, pH balance in blood. Sulfate ion, protein synthesis and detoxification. And here are some key cations. Sodium ion, nerve impulses, sweetening secretions. Calcium ion, bone formation, muscle contraction and blood clotting. Hydrogen ion, respiration, photosynthesis and pH balance. Magnesium ion, chlorophyll production, DNA synthesis. Potassium ion, cell function, nerve impulses and muscle contraction. Organic compounds contain carbon and hydrogen, often with elements like oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, and halogens. They make up most biological molecules essential for structure, function, and regulation in living organisms. Examples include carbohydrates, proteins, and lipids. Carbon, the backbone of organic chemistry. Carbon atoms form stable covalent bonds, allowing the creation of complex molecules. Each carbon atom can make four bonds, often forming long chains or ring structures. The typical tetrahedral shape of carbon bonds makes it versatile in forming diverse compounds. Shapes of carbon compounds. Carbon compounds can have varied structures, ring, branch chains, or 3D shapes. This flexibility allows for the complexity and diversity of organic molecules. Organic molecules are often made up of smaller units called monomers. These monomers link together through polymerization to form polymers. For example, polythene is made by linking many ethane molecules. Polymers that are large and complex are called macromolecules. These are essential to biological functions. As examples, proteins, carbohydrates, and lipids. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey through Chemistry for Biologists. This is just the beginning, so make sure to subscribe to Sri Lankan Life Sciences Academy for more lessons. See you in the next video.